Good morning. The Old Fisherman back with you again. Hey, we in Lake Monticello having an awful time today. We tried everything we know to try. Can't find any fish. I'm gonna give it one last shot before I go home. Turning the camera on. We're gonna try to just fish with doggone worms. They won't hit nothing else. So, hey, we at the last of our trip and can't seem to get anything to bite. Fishing's terrible. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I'm just having bad luck. Something's going on with the Old Fisherman. But hey, we tried catfish, nothing. We tried perch with the jigs, and like I always catch them, spoon, nothing. I mean, we caught a couple, and I'm to the point now, I'm just gonna come out here and we're gonna lazy man fish a little bit with doggone worms and hopes we can catch a few and make a video on Lake Monticello. Hey, the Old Fisherman's in a batter slump. I don't mind telling you. Of course, now the weather's supposed to straighten up now. It's been terrible, cold. I mean, it's just been a bad year for me, a bad spring. But hey, we're gonna try to catch a couple today on this lake if we got to go down to worm fishing. I'll do anything to catch a mess of fish. I don't have many. I've got a couple, and what I've caught on worms. So I'm just gonna put out some worms. We're gonna drop 2 rods down with a lead above a doggone number 6. Actually, I like it's a 4 hook, little 4 crappie hook, wire gold hook. And that's what we're gonna do in hopes we can catch a couple, because we sure hadn't been catching anything. It's been awful. Still waiting on my trolling motor to come in. This thing here works when it wants to. And got a part for the big motor still coming in. Hadn't made it in, and I'm having computer problems. I got a new computer coming in. None of that's come in, so we've been in a slump. Just lots and lots of bad luck. But we're gonna try to catch a couple. I don't know if we can or not. Hey, I've been all over this lake. It's almost like one of them days where the fish is gone. Can't find them. I didn't even get a catfish bite where I normally used to catch a catfish this time of year. Not a bite. So, and there's a bite right on worms. It's the only way I can get a bite, and it ain't many of them biting them. So, hey, well, we're gonna pull in here. There goes one, but it's probably gonna be little. Hey, but right now, I'll take anything. I'll take anything. That's how bad it is. I never thought I'd say that, but that's the truth. I'll take anything to have a mess of fish to eat. And hey, I'm supposed to have fish for supper. I hadn't been catching any, people. I've had a bad week. I don't mind telling you. With all the bad luck last week, now the fish has been just the same this week. It's been cold every morning I've come over here. I don't fish till about lunch, and I go home. They might be eating it up in the evening. That could be. Sometimes they'll bite in the evenings better than they bite in the morning. When it's springtime and it's been cold in the mornings and warms up during the day, they start biting in the evening. So who knows? But I don't stay in the evening. There's one. Look at that. Hey, we're starting to catch a couple. And there's one on the other. The doggone jokers want worms. Is what they want. Worms. If you don't have worms, you ain't gonna catch them. Hey, that ain't too bad. You got to love a nice one. You've got to love a nice one. And they don't want a lot of worm, just a little bit of worm. They picky. Let me tell you, they're picky. We're gonna just fish with a couple rods with worms. See that? I'm telling you, that's the way you got to do it. With worms, people. When it don't bite, sometimes you just got to give up with the artificial and fish with a doggone piece of worm. And that's what we're doing today on Lake Monticello. Hey, we ain't been loving it much here lately, but hey, it's got to get better. Don't you reckon? Time for the catfish to start biting. Water temperature is still in the low 60s. I like it when it gets up to about 70 for them catfish. And it's supposed to get in the 80s here a couple of days. If that happens, we might catch some. They're gonna start biting, and it looks like they're gonna bite these worms. I hadn't caught none all day. I just give up and said, heck with it, I'm fishing with worms. And that's what happened. We catch them with worms. And there's a jumbo magnum, my goodness. Hey, we've been messing up all morning. We should have been fishing with worms earlier. That's what they want. They want worms. Doggone rascals. You got to hate a doggone rascal fish. Look at that. Hey, we got it going on now. We got it going on now. Piece of worm. Piece of worm is going to bring us out of not having a bad day to maybe not so bad a day. On Lake Monticello, just to show you, don't give up, just change your tactics a little bit. And in this case, we I got it all wrapped up here. What we doing in this case is we changing baits, and we just lazy man's fishing with worms. I got a knot here. Is what we doing. Lazy man fishing with worms is what we gonna do. And they biting it too. See that? Look at that. Huh? It's what they want. Lazy man fishing with worms. The Old Fisherman. Hey, y'all go to stevecumberland.com, get your t-shirt, your fish towels, and in a matter of about a week or so, we're going to have hats on there. We got some You Got to Love It hats, the Old Fisherman, and on the back it's got Steve Cumberland on YouTube on them. Hope you like them. We got a blue and got a little yellow trim on the end of the bill, and we got a cream colored with a black edge on the bill. So that's what we got coming in. Hope y'all enjoy them. Hey, we own a couple fish now, and we catch it. That's a good one. What? Oh my! What? That's a super dog jumbo delight right there. Lake Monticello, catching them with worms today. And I'm talking a little piece of worm, not a lot of worm, just a little piece of worm. You got to love that. We got one going with this one right here as we speak. Huh? He's running off with it. Old Fisherman's gonna have him a good time on Lake Monticello, catching doggone white perch. Hey, they ain't super big, but let me tell you, I done been all morning trying to catch them on the jig. Catch the bigger ones on the jig. They just won't bite the jig. They quit biting it. They're not feeding on minnows or shad. They just laying down here getting ready to spawn, and you got to put worms on them, I think, to catch them. And not a lot of worms. Actually, a little red worm would probably be better than doggone big NightCrawlers, but one thing about NightCrawlers, you can get a lot of baits out of one worm. Look at that, they biting as fast as throw it out now. Hey, that just goes to show, you put them in a feed, you got to get them started. You got to get them started. What we might ought to do is, thinking out loud, is put a doggone little hook on the bottom of the double rig and have a crappie jig on the top, and we can probably catch two at a time. Once they get on the worm, they probably take the crappie jig. You see it? Hey, they biting these worms. Look at that, eating it up. And they hadn't bit all morning, people. And that's a super dog jumbo magnum. Look at that, worms. That's the key. Got to have worms. Put a little piece of worm on it and throw it down. Have you a good time on Lake Monticello. And we got them biting the other one. I'm missing. Hey, it's fun, ain't it? Hey, action's always fun. Look down the go. Look down. Oh, missed it. Little action's always fun. You got to love little action. We're in about 25 foot of water. Back in, almost on a little point going back into a cove. That's what we doing. And that's where we at. And we catch it. Doggone white perch with worms. And I'm talking, look at the size. Huh? That big one. What? That's a jumbo super dog magnum right there, people. You got to love it. Hey, we having a good time now. We was all depressed. And I'm thinking, what's happening to the Old Fisherman? Look at him going, huh? I said, what's happening to the Old Fisherman? He got to be better than this. He got to figure out something. Hey, I didn't have nothing left but the worms. And that's what it's going to take. Hard to believe that they wouldn't hit a jig, but they won't. They just won't. You got to put worms on them. We can get some, might get another box. But a little piece of worm is the key. I promise you, it is the key. Now, you got to have your rag, because let me tell you, them things are nasty. They'll mess up my clothes, my boat. That old black dirt they use in these worms, that's dirty. It's black looking stuff, and it's really messy. Hey, we just going to have to put up with it though, because that's what they're biting. And you got to feed them what they want, or you ain't gonna catch nothing. These fish ain't totally spawned out yet. They still got eggs in them. I mean, some of them has spawned some, but most of them still got eggs in them. And that's what we're dealing with here. You got fish that's getting ready to spawn, and they're not running after shad, and they're not looking for shad. They're looking for something else. I reckon a little worm or whatever on the bottom of this lake. I don't know if there's little worms down there, but it should be. And that's what they're hitting. That's what they want, and that's what you got to give them. You see that. Some of them ain't that big, but hey, them jokers right there is good eating, I'll tell you that. I like them little fish. I like them. But hey, appreciate all my fans. I know y'all been wondering what's happening to Old Fisherman. Well, I'm telling you right now, the fish ain't been biting, and I hadn't been giving up and throwing worms on them. I should have been giving up and throwing worms on them, it looks like earlier. That's what it looks like. That looks like the key. Worms. You got to get on them though. They ain't everywhere. I searched a lot of places. Couldn't catch them. Getting in here now, we're catching a few. I don't know how long they're going to bite. I'm sure they're going to give up and quit. Get used to me. That's what they normally do. They get used to you and quit. But hey, you got to love it. Catching a few. There you go. Look at that rod. Look at that rod. Look at that rod. See that? Hey, that's fun, ain't it? Oh my. That other one's too deep, I think. That one's small. Some of them jumbo magnums though. But that, as far as I'm concerned, right there is the best eating size whole. And if you're gonna fillet them, you need them a little bit bigger. After they swallow this worm, you can't throw them back because they're gonna die. So you got to take them home and fry them whole. Look down the going. Look down the going. Look down the going. What? A lot of action, ain't it, people? A lot of action. I still think I need to put a doggone worm at the bottom of that jig, and once they bite the worm, then a bigger one might bite the jig. What I'm thinking that will work. Usually when I think something will work, it does, if I try it. Drop it to the bottom with a little boy's lie today. That's what's down there, little boys. Little boys. And we just using a little speck of worm. I ain't using a lot. I ain't using a lot. Make somebody smile. I say it all the time, and I keep saying it. Be a happy person. Everybody will love you. You take the Old Fisherman now. He was sad a while ago. I wasn't catching any fish. I don't normally let it get to me. But I'm going to tell you right now, last couple of days fishing, it's been getting to me. I haven't been trying these worms, though. And obviously I was making a mistake. Because they do hit the worms where they won't hit the jig, they'll hit that worm. See it bumping that thing? Hey, they'll hit that worm. He's tapping it. I don't know if y'all can see that rod or not. I can. I got them zeroed in back that way, and I'm kind of in the middle of the picture. I'm gonna turn the camera a little bit right quick. Get me on the edge like that. Maybe you can see the rod better. He's playing with it. Look how they're going. Look how they're going. Hey, just got to hope you get a big one. Most of them little. That's all there is to it. Most of them little. Most of them is little. You know, the fish bound to start picking up. We bound to start being able to catch some catfish and just about anything. And I'm thinking about going to Lake Monticello to try to catch some stripers. Hadn't done that in a long time. Ain't been to Lake Monticello in a long time. Probably should have. I missed it. Probably should have went to Lake Monticello because it's been so bad over here. But apparently I should have been fishing with worms. Is what I should have been doing. I got fish all up under me right now. They everywhere. I'd rather catch them on the jig. But if they don't want to bite the jig, what you gonna do? You got to fish with worms. Hey, that's a good pull on a worm. Look at that. Huh? Got these old little minnow rods is what it is, my crappie minnow rods, and they kind of limber on the end. You want a rod that's limber on the end. Again, going, my goodness. Hey, they biting now, ain't they? They biting now, we got them stirred up. Probably throw the doggone jig out there and catch 2 at a time now. What I'm thinking. But hey, I was just about to go home with not a lot of fish. Now, we're probably gonna catch a few. What I'm thinking, we're probably gonna catch a few. Doggone worms. Tell you, you just got, sometimes you got to bow down and change to a simple method of fishing. Earthworm. That's what you got to do. A simple method of fishing. And it don't get much simpler than this right here. I'm hoping our hats is going to be in the next week or so. We ordered 200. Got 100 blue, navy blue, and like I say, cream color with black on them. And I hope each and every one of you get you a hat. They run out, we can reorder. But I had to get 200 to get a decent price. So, I'll tell you, they're expensive if you don't buy but a few. You got to buy a lot. I was looking at a hat that was going to cost $15 for me to buy. So we got one a little less expensive, and I think it's still good quality. And hopefully they'll turn out real good, and y'all will like them. And hopefully y'all will purchase. An Old Fisherman, you got to love it hat is what it's going to be. If they sell good, I'll get some with different stuff on it, different writings on it. Some of my sayings I've got, Watt, Jumbo Magnum, and that kind of thing. But you got to sell them first. Hey, he's bumping it. He's bumping it. Look at that. Huh, look at that. Most of them are little. That's the only thing. You know, I wonder where all them Jumbo Magnums are. That's the reason I don't like to fish with worms, is because now that and there I can throw back because they didn't swallow it. But the reason I don't like to fish with worms, you catch so doggone many little ones. Look down, they're going. About to pull it out my rod holder. What? About to pull it out the rod holder. That jugger pulling like a big one, but he ain't a big one. He's just a medium size. Hey, medium sized white perch. He makes that popcorn fillets. Is what they make. With the worms, all them fish I miss with the jig, with the worms you catch them. And so that's why I miss so many, because a lot of times they're little fish biting it, you know? And that's why I miss so many. People think it's because my hook ain't right, it's because the fish are little. If you're using that jig, that sucker's bigger and they can't get it in their mouth and they bumping it and you're missing them. But with worms, they can swallow that baby, especially when you pinch them in two. But man, look at my hands. Look like I've been playing in the mud. That's the blackest of black dirt that they use on them worms, and it's nasty. Let me tell you, it's nasty. Oh gosh, and there is that doggone load. He got a fish in his mouth right now. I wish they'd leave. He'll run them off. If he dives under my boat at this depth, we ain't 20-something foot of water. They can't stand lonely swimming through them. I guarantee you on that. They will leave. There's 2 loons right out there. I hope they stay out there. Most of these fish are babies. Most of them are babies. And I was afraid of that. Look down there going, good gracious. What? Most of them are babies, but they biting. Did you see how many little ones is in the lake? I'm telling you. You think it ain't none around, they start biting and you're everywhere. And good gracious. I hope that loan don't reach up and grab that fish. I have something on my hands now with this little rod. If they don't swallow them little ones, I'm gonna throw back. But if they swallow it, I can't throw them back. It's that simple. That loon will probably come get them even if I do throw them back. When I throw them back, they dive down, and I'm sure they're swimming up this way. I'm sure they're swimming up this way. I really don't like fishing with worms because I catch too many little ones. But when the fish ain't biting, you got no alternative but to try to catch something. And there's old Looney. I guarantee he'll run them off. They watch you and they see if you're catching any fish, and then they'll come to you. Even the ones that don't know you, watching you. See now the fish are gone. Because Looney's coming around. He's just swimming under the boat. Uh-oh, there's one. There's one. There's one. Still little though. They're not big. They're babies. Nothing but babies. Nothing but babies. What they are. But anyhow, hey, we had such a bad day. Them babies are nice. I don't mind telling you. Look yonder going. Hey, look yonder going. Look yonder going. They ain't no whopper. They're little. Like I say, good eating size, but just little. Throw it down. Hopefully we can catch some bigger ones. You know, I was hoping after the little ones would start, some big ones might move in. Sometimes they'll do that. When they start biting, it kind of calls in the rest of them. But them big ones might be laying. Of course, these little ones, they all sizes got eggs in them. So, hey, the little ones might be laying too. Apparently, there's a bunch of them hanging around out here. Doggone wind starting to get back up. But glad y'all could be with the Old Fisherman on another episode. And Miss Deborah's working hard trying to get some hats, and hope y'all purchase. There you go. Nope, nope. Hopefully we get on some big catfish here for long. It's just a matter of a week or so, I think, before they start. But you never know. They might not do the same as they did last year or prior years. And every year is different. Hopefully they will. That's why I brought these worms, because I thought I'd get on some catfish, but hey, looks like I'd catch catfish right here. What it looks like. I don't know where them jokers is at. They just not biting. That's what I'm thinking. They just not biting. Man, when I was a kid, my daddy, we used to go over to Broad River and fish catfish similar to this, only we have heavier lead. You let it down and the current would take the line back and hit the bottom, and you sat there and them doggone catfish would take it. You catch them about that long. That was fun. Fishing with worms. We used helgamites and worms. And them was the good old days. Simple days, simple life. Wasn't much traffic. Now you get out with a bicycle on the highway, you get run over. Back then, I could ride the bicycle for miles without putting my hands on the handlebars. We used to do that, see how far we could ride it without putting our hands on the handlebars. But nowadays, it's too much traffic. The world's changed in the last 60 years. My birthday will be April 28th, so I'm getting really close to being 67 years old. My goodness, it's hard to believe. Hard to believe, people. It creeps up on you. Now the fish quit biting. What in the world's going on? I got them under me too. It ain't that they all over the bottom. It just ain't biting. Maybe I ain't deep enough. Get down a little bit. It might have took my worm. Wind kind of changing direction, got me blowing a different direction. But the fish are still there. They just ain't taking it like they were. Might have took my worm. But hey, I apologize to the little fish, but I don't know what to do. I can't find them big ones. When they get back to feeding on shad, then we can get back on them. But until then, them jokers are gonna be tough. Hey, they're gonna be tough. Boy, I hate to spill that old black dirt in my boat. Get it all over my boat. Next thing you know, you step into it, it all gets in the carpet. You got a mess. But anyhow, I'm fishing on credit with this one. That's why I ain't caught that. You don't catch them on credit. See if we can catch one. I bet it ain't no worm on this one because they ain't getting a bite. I see fish all over the bottom. Might ought to put out that jig, see if we catch a couple big ones. No, it's worm on there. For some reason they ain't biting. Ain't nothing wrong with that worm. What in the world's going on? Drop it back down. Oh, there's fish all over the place under there. There's droves of them. Droves of fish. 30 foot of water. They everywhere. They just ain't the size I want. Well, we hadn't put up a video since last Saturday. And we put up two that day because we had problems on the one I done on Friday, uploading it, and Miss Deborah finally got it uploaded. She had to go a roundabout way to do it. She had to put it on a flash drive and do it with her computer, laptop. I don't know what in the world's wrong with my computer. But hey, we fixing to, I hope, get out of that problem. There's another one. Mini mites is what they are, mini mites. Mini mites. Fish delight, mini mite. There he goes right there. Yep. Mini mites. Hey, we having fun, but we ain't catching big ones. We catching a pile of little babies. And that joker there swallowed it. That ain't good. He's little and he ain't gonna live. He's too little to clean. Loney had to get him. Loney will probably eat him. Be a meal for old Loney. Not that I care if he gets a meal anymore. Some of these loons ain't as bad as the others. Some of them are really nice. They're not really aggressive, but they've been pretty aggressive. About a week or two ago, they were really aggressive. These loons here are staying out, so they're not the ones that really affect me so bad. When they dive under the boat, they run the fish off. I'm not sure these are diving under. That one come by, but he's gone. Now see that fish right there, he ain't that big, but he's almost as big as your hand. He's bigger than a brim, and that's a good eating size fish. As long as he's bigger than a brim. You know, 2 rods, they work you pretty fast. You put one out, by the time you get one in the rod holder, the other, they go down most of the time, if it's at the right depth. I'm just throwing them out. I might not have them deep enough. Drop it down a little bit more. There's the bottom. That's on the bottom. When you get on the bottom, you want to pull it up a little bit and want to bite it. And that's what they do. Plenty of them now. They just little. They're not out in the big water yet. They go out in the big water to feed on them doggone shad. They tuck back in these coves is where they at. Get ready to spawn. And that's where I caught them the last time I done a video. Back in the coves on worms, and that's what they want. And the bottom's covered. 31 foot is fish everywhere. But they're slacking up a little bit biting. Unless I don't have it all the way down at the bottom. Make sure it's down. I hate fishing like this. I like one rod and a jig. That's the way I like to fish. I like to fish with artificial. I hate fishing with live bait, worms included. But hey, you see they bite them. They bite them good. You want some action right now, you better bring some daggone worms with you. I'll tell you that right now. if you want action and some fish to eat. They, like I say, they're not big, but they're eatable. And by rights, the little ones are much better eating than the big ones. But the big ones, you can fillet them, and that makes them good. But whole, them little ones are a lot better than the big ones whole, scaled and fried whole. But anyhow, hey, I want to do a video, and I know it's not big ones, but that's just the way it is. Ain't nothing I can do about it. Can't find the big ones. There ought to be a lot more big ones in here, you would think, unless they just the little ones not giving them a chance to bite it. That's what I'm thinking is happening. Last video I done, I showed the bank, and I got over there yesterday and somebody parked exactly where I was at. So these people know, they can look at me when I'm fishing it like this one. If I got the bank showing, then the next time I come, I won't even be able to get here. People are really bad about stealing the spot now. And it's my own fault for showing the bank. But hey, I think it's a better scenery when you can see trees and stuff than just water. And that's why I'm doing that. But by doing that, I'm losing my spot. When I was on the crappers that time, I showed where I was at. Hey, that was it. I couldn't get back in nothing. It was over. They stole it right out from under me. So, and that guy yesterday, no doubt in my mind, he's seen it. You could see where I was at. If you know the lake, you could pinpoint it with the little island there and a little cut through. You could tell exactly where I was at. And he was parked right on it. I can tell you that. Throw the anchor out, and he was catching with worms. But hey, we had a total different place today, so it's different places you can go, but I'm thinking worms is the key if you want to catch a lot of them. If you want a lot of action, you better bring worms. That's the key. The majority of these perches in the mouths of these coves right now, and most of them are going to be little. Most of them are little. Every so often you'll get a good one. We ain't getting a lot of good ones here. We get most of these are babies. But I got a feeling if you could get on some little ones, some big ones, that worms would be the way to catch them. Got a feeling that thing there wrapped all around. There it goes. Worms would be the way to catch them. Until they get to eating on shad again. Everybody, y'all remember to check on your mom and daddy. Hey, make sure they're okay. Don't just leave them. Make sure they're okay. Give them a call. Give your mom and daddy a call. It sure is important to them. Well, hey, we've caught a nice little mess, and we might be done wore our welcome out this little spot. I might move around and hit another little spot in hopes I can find some bigger fish. But anyhow, glad y'all could be with the Old Fisherman. We're gonna let you go before it gets too long. Hey, we got a couple nice ones. They ain't no super dogs, but hey, they eatable. Hey, and you got to love eatable. Lake Monticello, love and life. Glad you're with the Old Fisherman, and check out SteveCumliner.com. We'll see you.